Yuma, thank you very much for coming out here and celebrating 60 years of Marine aviation flying out of Yuma. And we could not do that without the community support, so thank you very much for coming out.
Includes GPS, laser-guided, general-purpose bombs, Maverick missiles, rockets, 30mm bullets, and A-10 air-to-air missiles. All of these weapons have been used to attack any forces in Iraq, Bosnia.
On behalf of the A-10, we'd just like to thank all these amazing fans who came out to support all these great performers tonight. We appreciate you coming out here, and we hope to see you again tomorrow.
Once again, we salute all those fighting today's joint fight and any wounded warriors and veterans in attendance today. We especially want to thank those who have given their lives in defense of this great country and all their families.
You will him right now as he taxis back into position. Only a handful of aircraft over the years have passed their name on to a next generation of airplane.
In the 44 months that fighting followed, the United States sank every one of the Japanese aircraft carriers, battleships, and cruisers of the Pearl Harbor Task Force. Nagasaki, the city where the special armor-busting bombs were made, was destroyed. Mike Burke from Galveston, Texas. Behind him, Patrick Hutchins in 0111 from Bayou Vista, Texas. Behind Patrick is Jim Ryan from Deanville, Texas, south of Sugar Land, in that role. So by mid-1943, most fortresses had been withdrawn from the Pacific in favor of the longer-range V-24 Liberator. The V-24 was better suited for operations in the Pacific, having a higher speed and a larger
At your head all at the same time.
Well, and especially when you have 20-knot winds, Rob. Now you can see that big old light that just came on the left side of the aircraft. That's called a night sun. And that thing, crew chief, who's the only one talking to the pilots right now, they can actually see the survivor. He's telling the corpsman that he's going down. So he's getting permission from the pilots. Now the corpsman's coming down.
Is that on that hoist?
Well, this is actually a rappel, so it's hooked around the hoist. But
I got it.
The corpsman's under his own.
Between your crew chief and the pilots is critical, isn't it?
That's absolutely correct. The pilots, in a real scenario or in a real rescue, the pilots will actually never even see the patient.
What does that feel like under there? Do you know?
I have had a couple rides underneath there,
And the B-25, the Mitchell bombers. That he had a secret mission. He couldn't tell them the target, and all he could tell them was that there was a great likelihood that they would not survive that mission. That was later sunk, and most recently, just in the last month or so, was discovered. These 16 planes launched from the carrier and reached strategically so important that personnel here come the V-25s again. After they reach their target, he is 103-year-old Richard Cole, who was the co-pilot. But look at the flame coming out, ladies and gentlemen, it's your munitions are hung. Here comes the Harrier once again from the right. And that's the end of Act 1 of the... will be poured into the engine to cool it to make it burn better. Now that's like saying throwing water on a fire to make it work. Here he goes. Watch this.
Take you to the beautiful Yuma Desert. The friendly staff at Shiloh Inns Yuma will welcome you with gracious Shiloh hospitality, and we are known for our affordable excellence. Dogs are welcome with a nominal fee. Don't forget to ask about our veteran discount. We also have flexible meeting and conference space with service by our professional and friendly staff, making Shiloh Inns your first choice for a business meeting, conference, executive meeting.
Start anytime now. Brakes are off. Smoke is on. There's 152, 332 miles an hour. Whoa!
including U.S. Air Force A-10s and F-16s. As the aircraft returns to show center, the pilot will execute a slower photo pass showing the profile of the aircraft while banked in an afterburner. From the right, get those cameras ready! To acknowledge the hard work and dedication of all the Marines of the MFA 122, without whom this demonstration would not be possible. I would also like to take this opportunity to...
Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for the F-35B Lightning II. And Nate, that nozzle you see back there, just like the Harrier.
Flight line, and I said with the oldest, slowest, actual coolest aircraft on the flight line, the HH-1 November Rescue Pig.
Now you're talking.
God forbid, ejected out of one of those new fancy F-35s, and he's landing on the runway. Now normally we would just land and pick him up, but that's a little boring. So we're gonna give you guys a show today, and we're gonna do what's called a short haul. So you see, he used the smoke
in that it changed the way cavalry worked. It's air cavalry, and one of the things that it became known for was search and rescue and dust-off missions to protect a guy. Now it looks like he just rappelled down.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So we have two options to get the corpsman in. You can either repel him in or use... You know, your knowledge of this stuff is just incredible, Rob.
Thank you. Well, you know what? I've watched guys like you. Look at this now. They're obviously they can't hoist him up because he's on a rappel, so they're going to stay down there, right?
Right, and so you see HM2, he's signaling to the air crew, hey, I'm clear of terrain, go ahead and pick me up at a little bit faster rate. So he's picking him up, and you'll see HM2 Seckler sticking his arms out to the left and right, maybe his legs. And what he's doing there is he's not just surfing for the crowd. He's
As a pilot, you really can't see straight down. So
Can't
the
see him at
crew
all.
chief, how does the crew chief, how do you communicate and get in the right position to do a proper? In March of 1989, and 10 years later, it entered service. 26 years from concept to service, I present to you the United States Marine Corps' MV-22 Osprey. See and hear it. The 38-foot rotor diameter is what we're going to see as it comes by. Here comes the Osprey and a high-speed pass.
We even get unique terminology for the V-22, a very unique aircraft. And for all of our friends in the local agricultural community, you would actually be surprised at how similar the cockpit of a V-22 feels to a modern combine. They really do. The little wheel with your thumb that you're talking about, to tilt the nacelles, it's almost the exact same thing that the rotor,
without so much as a hiccup or a loss of any sort of loss of control. It's really amazing.
Absolutely right. A lot of people think that a lot of the issues that were early on in the development of this aircraft might still be an issue, but the engineers did a great job of going in there and figuring out a bunch of those issues and putting a bunch of safeguards in this aircraft to make it have the excellent dependability record that it has today.
Marine Corps and the United States Air Force.
Well, and really, we're still unlocking capabilities of this aircraft as we speak. I mean, we're still developing TTPs. We're still developing new and interesting ways to employ it. There's talk right now of potentially putting Hellfires on it. We've got ramp gunners on it now. There's just all kinds of capabilities that still...
New technologies for renewable energy, your mission is ours. Lockheed Martin, we never forget we were working for you. Yuma International Airport is proud to sponsor this year's air show. We hope everyone has a great time, enjoys the air show, and when you have time to fly, always remember to fly Yuma.
Well, taxiing out now, the 4 Northrop F-5, if you will, of the attack on Pearl Harbor back in 1941 that brought the United States into the war. Well, we can see them coming from the right. The first one coming through is the Huey. That's the UH-1 Zulu, and behind it, that's the Cobra. It was designed from the skids up. It's the first ever designed helicopter from the skids up to be an attack helicopter with a gunner in the front, the pilot in the back, and between the two of these helicopters, they're going to take on the 4 jets.
Yeah, that's right. You can see the F-5s approaching left to right. It'll be a right-to-right pass, setting up a 1-circle or 2-circle flow for the defensive air combat training. Yeah, absolutely. So for our role, we provide the training aid for the helo pilots in this case to get better. The beautiful thing about the Marine Corps is every aircraft or platform we have, we fight with it, and we fight hard. So you can see in this case, Huey is pulling for the clean shots.
One of the interesting things about the Cobra, the second helicopter going through here, there's a little gun underneath the chin of that Cobra, and that is through the seat, the gunner in the fleet. These F-5s have the capability. It looks like we got sidewinders actually on the missile range.
100 feet, and they'll separate 4-second spacing in between aircraft.
So they'll burn off speed and then turn, get down to a safe speed for the lower. And as they taxi by, the different colors are very important as well, aren't they, Hank?
Yeah, we have several different colors. We use that for the camouflage aspect of our mission. It's a little bit harder to see us.
The United States Air Force and the Heritage Flight Foundation. And we're watching now the oval pattern flown by these guys as they...
This is from Yuba City, California. It's about an hour north of Sacramento. I live right outside of Beale Air Force Base. I used to watch SR-71s and U-2s fly every morning. Kind of got the bug from there and always thought it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of your United States Air Force, the Commander of Air Combat Command, General Mike Holmes, and all the men and women of Air Combat Command, we welcome you once again.
On their wings, me give the honor such a bird.
Steve is the president of the Planes of Fame Air Museum in Chino, California. Since 1994, and a founding member of the Motion Picture Pilot Association.
And more complex systems. And if the student didn't wash out then, he would move on.
MAGTFs have long provided the United States with a broad spectrum of response options when U.S. and allied interests have been threatened in non-combat situations which require critical response. Selective, timely, and credible commitment of air-ground units have, on many occasions, helped bring... Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the Yankee has spotted some more enemy on the airfield, and he's going to be coming around for an attack to make sure that 53 is safe as it deploys the Marines. The skids are giving a lesson to the Wasabi and American tactics using the assortment of weapons in the section, which include 20mm cannon, Hellfire missiles, 5-inch Zuni rockets, 2.75-inch rockets, 50 caliber machine. The 53 is getting ready to lift out of the area. Right now, the skids are doing double duty, providing coverage for both the Marines on the ground and the aircraft lifting from the area. Ladies and gentlemen, the skids are making one last pass of the objective area to make sure that all those Wasabi forces can't interrupt with our fine air show today. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the skid pilots for keeping us safe. Actually fire behind and off to the side of the aircraft, so the enemy never knows where the fire is going to be coming from. Many an enemy has made the mistake of thinking that just because of the nose of the aircraft was not pointing at them that they were safe, or they had another thing coming. And he's dropping his ordnance. Now he's got to hit the gas and get out of Dodge.
And Shockwave will be out after we get our aircraft in. Watch the brake. First one out. The F-35 Lightning II.
Then after I get in position, I just kind of look at the picture and maintain that picture as I'm flying around.
And you really don't know where the ground ends and the sky begins, do you?
I do a little bit, have a little bit of situational awareness, but I'm not looking around at the horizon. I just maintain my spot on him, so if he screws up, we're all screwing up.
Yeah, hold on for just a second. Look at how the F-35 is keeping the nose off. That's that arrow. That's amazing capability to watch them come in. So you were saying you get your minimum. Right. Yeah, so, and you guys have been flying these Harvards. You guys have a love for this kind of airplane.
Absolutely. Please round of applause for Yellow Thunder.